Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome to a reading book tag. It has been a little while since I have put out a video and even longer since I have recorded one, so I figured that I would record something that's quick and simple to get me back into the swing of things. I have been in a little bit of a slump lately, both reading and creatively, so I just need something that's going to get me back into the swing of things, get my spark back, and hopefully get the content back to a usual schedule. So today we'll be doing the reading habits tag. This tag is pretty self-explanatory. We are just going to be talking about my reading habits and how they work throughout my life and how I fit them in, and just different weird little quirks that I seem to do along the way. So I don't know who originally created this tag. If I can figure it out, I will put it in the description box below, but I will go ahead and just read out the questions and we'll talk about some book habits that I have. The first question is, do you have a certain place that you read at home? And the answer is yes. I have a couple different places that I will read, but if you guys watch my vlogs, you guys will pretty much know where I do a majority of my reading, and that is one particular spot on my couch. I spend most of my reading time, editing time, everything time in that spot. The other place would be in my bedroom. I read in my bed. However, my husband is usually in there watching TV of some sort, and I am one of those type of people that I need silence when I read. I think that comes up in the tag later on in the video, but I need complete silence to read, or else I get very, very distracted. If I'm in there and he's watching a movie or a TV show, regardless of how many times I've seen this movie or a TV show, I will still try to watch it while reading at the same time. So I like to find a place where I can be by myself and do my own thing while I read or anything along those lines. So my couch is my best spot to do some reading. I also every once in a while will read outside or something. I also read in the car when I do my audiobook listening, but for majority of my physical book reading, it's definitely one spot on my couch. Okay, question number 2 is bookmark or random piece of paper, and 100% bookmark. I have way too many bookmarks and need to get use out of them, so if I am not using a bookmark, come and get me and tell me off, because what a waste of money. Honestly, why would I buy so many bookmarks and I just never use them? So I also find that I am mostly a bookmark user. I don't ever reach for a receipt or anything like that. I will scavenge around my house until I find a bookmark. I will never bookmark dog ear pages, anything like that. If I can't find a bookmark, I am on the hunt for one before I even close that book. So bookmark all the way. Okay, the next question says, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? So if I am reading physically on my own and I don't have anything going on, I don't have a time restraint or anything like that, I like to stop at a chapter break. Every once in a while, if I'm like super tired and I can't do anymore, I'll stop at like a chapter break. I'm sorry, what is it? A paragraph. Wow. A paragraph break where it's clear, defined where I would have stopped. But for the most part, it has to be a chapter break. I am one of those people that I love to tab a book. I will show you guys right now. I love a good tabbed book that shows the sections of the book and how quickly I would like to finish something, especially if I'm buddy reading a book. So I love a good tabbed book, and I love finishing things off at a chapter. However, I will say the only time this differs is when I'm reading an audiobook in the car. So I read audiobooks pretty much every single day, and I will listen to and from work, and there are times when I cannot sit and wait and listen to the end of the chapter. I just have to get out of the car and hope that I remember what's going on in the book once I get back in the car and continue driving. Most of the time, I don't have any issues with it, but there are some times when I have to go back a couple of minutes and re-listen to that section so I can get better acquainted to where I am in the story. But that is probably the only time when I will willingly just stop in the middle of the book and not care about it. Number 4 is, do you eat or drink while reading? And the answer to that question is kind of. I'm not a huge snacker when I read because I'm one of those people, I like to keep my books in pristine condition, so I don't like any oil stains, food marks, anything like that in my books. If you come over to my bookshelves, the only thing that you will ever find in a book, unless it was an extreme accident, are tabs. Very, very rarely will you see any type of food stains or anything like that. I just like to keep my books looking like, honestly, like they've never been read. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. There are some people out there that like to see the story in their books when they get done reading them. I am just not that person. I like my bookshelves to be super nice and pristine and pretty, and so no, I don't eat snacks, but I will drink a cup of tea, coffee, anything like that with my book. I think that is so cozy and so just like, it reminds me of like winter sitting with hot chocolate when it's raining and just like drinking a cup of hot chocolate. Like there's nothing better than that. And so I love to drink a good hot drink while I am reading, but that's pretty much it. Every once in a while though, when I'm really hungry and wanting to read at the same time, I'll eat a chip or something, but very, very rare. Okay, number 5 is multitasking, music or TV show while watching books. And I answered this question earlier. No, I need absolute silence, and the only time that I can put the only time that I can put on TV or music is if the music is like lo-fi music and there's like no words, it's just instrumental and sound, then yes, I can listen to music. Or every once in a while on my TV, I'll put up like fireplace sounds or like ambient sounds, like rain sounds and things like that. That I can do. But music with words in it, no. TV show, no. Movie, no. I cannot do it. My brain just cannot focus on 2 things at once. So unless it's something with no words, it's a no for me. Okay, number 6 is one book at a time or several at once. And that is 100% several at once. I think when I was younger, I used to read one book at a time and that just worked for me. Now, since I have a ton of books on my TBR, the books that I'm just trying to get through as quickly as I can, because I definitely want to dwindle the number of books on my TBR at some point in my life, I read multiple books at once. I think right now I'm currently in the middle of 6 books, which is a little extreme for me. I will definitely say that. But I know that a lot of people ask how I do that. And to answer your question, most of the time they are in different formats. Like I'm always listening to an audiobook in the car. That is one book that I'm always going through at one time. I will usually keep like a physical read. If I have any physical reads that don't have any audiobooks, then I will physically read that one. And then I usually have one that I am like reading sporadically throughout the month, so it's not a huge like 100% urgency to get this book done like ASAP. I'm not on a time limit. There's no like hold from the library or anything like that. I'm just taking my time with it. And then I have an audiobook and a physical book that I am reading at the same time. So I love to physically read a book and listen at the same time. That's one of my favorite ways to read, and I usually have a book going that's doing that as well. That way, when I am doing that particular thing, so if I'm reading physically, I get to compartmentalize. Somebody tell me how to say that word. Compartmentalize? I can't say that word. I can kind of like section off my thoughts based off of the task that I'm doing it. So if I'm listening to an audiobook, I know this is my audiobook time. If I'm physically reading a book, this is my physical book time. And if I'm like doing a mixed media format where I'm listening and reading at the same time, then it's just a way for me to section off my brain to remember the things I need to remember for a specific book, if that makes any sense. And I usually will not do the same genre at the same time in the same like format. So I wouldn't listen to 2 fantasies in the car at the same time because then my brain gets confused. So if that helps you, there you go. Okay, number 7 is reading at home or everywhere. I would love to say that I'm an everywhere type of reader because I love to read, but this goes back to me having to read in complete silence. And usually when I'm out and about, there's music, there's talking. I'm usually out with my family members, and I just can't like turn my brain off enough to just focus on a book. Every once in a while, if I'm really in the itch to mood, I will go pop in an audiobook and go in the corner of somebody's house where it's really quiet and then read. But most of the time, it's just reading at home because I just can't focus my brain enough to just read a book and not listen to other people's conversations or join in or play games, you know? Sometimes I just can't do it. Okay, number 8 I think is going to be a little bit weird, and this is, do you read out loud or silently in your head? Now, I try not to do this in my videos because I don't want anyone to judge me, but I'm one of those people that I have to mouth the words when I read them to fully comprehend what I'm reading. I know that sounds really weird, but I've done it since I was a kid. My grandma used to make fun of me all the time because my grandma's also a big reader, and she could never understand why I would mouth the words when I was reading them. But I feel like if I read in my head, I don't absorb as much information as if I mouth them. So I won't actually say the words out loud, like you won't hear any sound coming out, but I will mouth the words and read along with the story just to help me better understand what I'm reading. A lot of the times in my videos you don't see it because I'm either listening to an audiobook or I try not to put it in the video because I think that's really weird. Please let me know down below if you guys also do this so that I don't feel alone in this. But it's just not something I show off very often because I just think it's so strange, and maybe because my grandma used to make fun of me all the time for it, I just think it's weird. But maybe it's not. Maybe a lot of people do this, and I'm not the minority in that. Please let me know so I don't feel alone, please. 10, do you break the spine or keep it like new? And I already answered that question. I do not break the spine of my books. I will literally read a book like this like barely opened, barely seeing the words just to make sure I don't break a spine. I know that may seem a little extreme to some people, but I hate the way a broken spine looks on a bookshelf, especially when it's so broken that you cannot read the title. Like, no thank you, I don't want it. I'm also one of those people, like, I work at a used bookstore and there are books that come in all the time that are really good titles, but if it's not in a good condition, I will not take it home. I know that's shallow and probably not everyone's cup of tea, but that's just how I am. I think I have a slight form of OCD, and so things like that really irk me. And I don't know, I wish I could be like everyone else and just grab books willy-nilly, but I just, don't break my spine. If I lend you a book and it comes back with a broken spine, you can keep it, but I want a new one. All right, and question number 11, and that is, do you write in your books? So this is, again, another kind of one of those confusing answers. The answer to that question is yes, sometimes, but not in the way I think that you think. I will write on a sticky note and put it in a book. I will, that's pretty much it, write on a sticky note and put it in a book, or I will write in a little notebook aside from my book to write down any notes that I have about a particular section. But I don't like the way my handwriting looks. So when I flip through a book and I see the way that my handwriting looks, it will turn me off of the way of the book. It's so weird. I've tried it before. I used to do it in high school. I would write in the margins of my books, and people with beautiful writing, I can totally see, like, I've seen people's like writing in books. I think it looks gorgeous, and I think that it would be so fun to do, but actually writing in my books, I just can't do it. I will write in a sticky note for sure. I will tab my books, absolutely, but I just can't write in them. My little perfectionist mind when it comes to books is just too hyper aware, and I just cannot. I cannot. Please let me know, like, any of these questions down below. If you guys do any of them, I would love to know, like, what your guys' thoughts are on some of these things. Also, I would love to know your stance on dog-earing pages, because I don't stand by it, but I would love to know, like, how you guys feel about that. Let me know. Any other questions down below if you want to share your answers. I would love to chat with you guys about it. But that is the last question. That is the end of this video. I apologize for the lack of consistent posts over the last week or so, but I am trying to get back into the swing of things, so I appreciate you guys' kindness and constant support. I love you guys so much. But that's the end of this video. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.